Welcome to Honest Whispers Preview. On this video, I'll be previewing Ikki Tousen, or known in the US as Dragon Destiny, Ryomou Shimei Uniform Version figure. It's also known as the cast-off and compatible fixed figure, as it kind of says right there on the box in Japanese. And also, it's also known as the bunny girl or bunny suit version figure. And the reason, as you can see, it comes out with switch out parts. And basically, you can display it in a regular uniform or in a bunny suit. This is basically a 1/6 scale figure. She is crouching down, so she's approximately about 5.5 inches tall. It shows little over 6.5 or so, but she is elevated off the ground about an inch. There's no designer or sculptor credited, but in cases like this, I would give the credit to the series creator, Yuji Shiozaki. This is probably the illustration that this figure is based on, and as far as the sculptor, since there's no sculptor credited, possible it might be a team, or basically it might be written, but I couldn't read it because it's in Japanese, or at least with kanji, the Chinese characters. This was released by Taki Corporation back in 2007. And this basically, it's like a Taki figure collection line. So, a little over 11 years old. I'm going to go over 6 different categories to review this. First category is design, which basically covers the concept and the pose. And for me, the pose, I really like the pose a lot. It is kind of action dynamic. Not in the sense, she's not doing a fighting move or anything, but she is in a defensive stance, and she is definitely engaged in battle. So definitely like that pose. And unlike the drawing, she's not, there's no battle damage on her costume, so I kind of like that too. And as far as I mentioned, this is basically a 2-in-1 figure. Now you do get switch out hand, arm, bow tie, bunny ears, a strapless corset, and 2 switch out legs in stockings. So basically you could see the seam lines where they detach, probably right there wrist, where her the white stockings end, and then that probably just goes over as the dress kind of snaps or unsnaps, probably in two pieces. Of course, this is in the cover, but in her uniform she does wear that little I don't know what you call that. It's like a little hair band as its example, not only in the illustrations but the back example. So for me, the concept, I really like it a lot. Whether you're a Playboy bunny girl fan or not, like that, to me, the bunny girl costume is a classic costume. Definitely, I know there's other characters that they produced. This Ryomou Shimei is my favorite character out of Ikki Tousen as well. So everything about it, the design concept, I like it a lot. I give it a 10 out of 10 on the design. Next category is sculpting. And as far as the sculpting goes, basically covers the quality of the molding and the details, and there is a lot of details. You can't really see too well through the window, but especially when you look at the hair, the way they did the strands, definitely kind of reflects the way the art or the anime or the character is drawn. You got the little frilly what's that, like apron, the dress, everything perfectly like detailed. The bow tie, chain links, even the cuffs right there. I mean, everything, it doesn't, like the edges are all clean, borders are clean. Even on the bunny suit, I know there's not much on bunny suit, but then still you could see there are some, if I could just kind of block out the reflection. Yeah, you might have to look it up online, but there are some like wrinkles on the waist line, and that just adds a lot of realism to it. Even the tail, it has some fluffy details. The fingers and the hands, they're all perfectly proportioned and consistent with the other hand. You can see her boot, since the other one's not, you can't see it, but you can see the straps and everything. It's like literally perfect details if you just look at the illustration as well. So for me, I don't see any molding or any issues like that. I like everything about it, especially just the way especially since they molded everything separately. I think that just raises the chance for higher quality, because when you're trying to mold that in one cast, you're gonna have a lot of issues, and there's probably gonna be a lot more cleaning to be done as far as sanding down certain areas and stuff. So definitely came out great, flawless. I give the sculpting score a 10 out of 10. Next category is painting, and similar to sculpting, because they molded everything separately and painted everything separately, there's hardly any issues on the paint. There's no issues with the borderline or anything like that, and all the parts seem to fit seamlessly too, which is a credit to the sculpting and the design. So the colors are accurate. Her eye is imprinted, and since she wears a since an eye patch, there's no way you could get it cross-eyed or googly-eyed on someone like her. So colors accurate. Quality of the paint seems good. There is some shine to her, so can't tell if it's gloss finish or if it's just the plastic. Like right here on her stockings, the white one, it does look like it has some like a gloss finish to it. Even has a bit of a pearl finish effect. So definitely high quality in the paint. I don't see any flaws, any parts that's really like bordering, even on the hand painted areas. And all the lines are pretty much straight. So again, if I have it open, there might be a chance I might see something, as I showed you on even the bootstraps, those little metal buckles. Perfect paint job on those. The buttons on her sleeves, pretty much it's like perfect circles. Even her, what is that, her heels, you could see the lines on the heels, the plastic kind of contorts it a little bit, so but from what I can see with the naked eye, it's a consistent curved line. There's no like wiggly part or anything. So painting, at least from this preview, from the window, and of course on the top, which you really can't see as much, I don't see any flaws or mistakes. I give the painting score a perfect 10 out of 10. Next category is packaging, and this packaging, as you can see, is a window box packaging. It only has 2 windows, but the box is pretty sturdy. It is a little bit big, but I think it's nicely packaged, especially because it comes with a lot of different parts and pieces. Everything seemed sturdy. I had this packaged, or I had this, I bought this when it released at a local anime shop, and then I kept it in storage for over 10 years. And definitely the box is sturdy enough where you can, if you're careful enough, yeah, you could keep it in pretty good condition, because there are some boxes that's very fragile or delicate, so even a slight fingernail on it against it can create a crease. So nice little packaging with different examples on the side, her name. I do like how it does show, they did mix it here. There's parts that's bunny, parts her regular uniform. And on the back, as I've shown before, has the examples. This illustration that the figure is based on, very cool, but what I really like about this packaging is the extra character details. You get her little statistics, and of course her little bio right there. Top has that mini window, as I mentioned, with the same kind of artwork, sign, logo, everything. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it, of course, there's always room for improvement, but for what it is, definitely nicely designed packaging. I give the packaging grade an 8 out of 10. And one thing I forgot to mention is that there is you could see the blue oval right there, which is also her base, and it's an optional base. There's no pegs or holes or anything. It is kind of nice. It does come with the little Ikki Tousen Dragon Destiny logo on the side as well. So as the illustration shows, you could pose her or display her without the base, or you could have the base on it. Although the base looks like it can take up a bit of space, especially because she's not as wide or long, long as the base is. So did want to mention that. I think that's a nice plus. Also, next category would be value, and for this retailed at around 90, 95, or because I believe the yen price was like 92 something. So it's basically retailed around $90, $95. Right now, there isn't really any listed for sale other than one used one that's kind of like around like $60 plus shipping, which in my mind or in opinion is a great deal, great bargain. If you really like this character or the figure, definitely worth picking up at $60. If I ever sold this, even for used, I wouldn't let it go for less than 100. And at the same time, if I never open it and keep it sealed, then as an unopened box, I wouldn't let this go for less than probably around like 140 to 150. And I think in my opinion it's definitely worth it, because the switch out parts, it's big, like as I mentioned, it's like 2-in-1. And I do have some sentimental value on this because she is my favorite Ikki Tousen character. So, and especially with the bunny costume, that kind of, or even on a regular uniform costume, it does, I like the balance between the cool action and the sexy, concept. So definitely up there. As I said, in sentimental value as well. So I give the value score, because at the same time, I think it should be worth more, but due to the fact that there isn't much listed, usually you could pretty much set the price. Of course, it can't be ridiculous, but as I mentioned, I wouldn't, if I did list it, I wouldn't let this go for less than 140 new and 100 used. Maybe 90, just to kind of like get the retail value back, as long as it's in good condition, because condition matters. So I give the value score above average, 7 out of 10. Finally, last category is overall. Overall basically accumulates all the 5 prior categories: design, sculpting, painting, packaging, and value. And for me, this, out of all the Ryomou Shimei, not just Ryomou, even Ikki Tousen, because there's a lot of nice characters that I like the main character Hakufu, and also the girl, one of the strong girls from the other school, Kanu. I think it's Kanu Uncho. So Ikki Tousen, and of course they are licensed, or there's a lot of companies that produce their figures. So nice variety of it, but for me, this is my favorite so far, especially that I own. There might be a couple that I might not have seen, but then truthfully, I've seen pretty much all of them, and this is something I would probably keep in my collection for a very long time, if not forever. So overall, I give the score a 9 out of 10. Because also the combination of quality and everything, it's just, it's unique, and just, it's just nice to have those options where you could display it not just in different angles, but you can also switch out the uniform. So to recap, design 10 out of 10, sculpting 10 out of 10, painting 10 out of 10, packaging 8 out of 10, value 7 out of 10, and overall 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Until next time, try watching Dragon Destiny if you haven't. It's actually pretty good, except for one season, which I thought was very low quality.